Teachers and students in Malaysia sent their prayers to the affected passengers in the Taroko derailment accident. Tzu Chi volunteers help a woman whose house is flooded by heavy rain clean up the mess. 歡迎收睇大眼 headlines， 我係 Ruby， 我哋一齊嚟睇下今日嘅內容。In Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur Tzu Chi International School and Selayang Harmony School both sent their prayers to the affected passengers in the Taroko derailment accidents in Taiwan, hoping to ease their sufferings.
应该都能体会到师父常常说的无常人间。How do they feel? How does the family member feel?
At the Selayang Harmony School, a school for refugees, the students pray for the victims and those affected by the Taiwan train derailment.
After I watched the video, I feel sad because 50 people were dead and more than 146 people were injured. I just feel sad because their family were more sad than us.
I hope that our prayers meet them, and then it will help them and then recover as soon as possible.
Although we are of different religions, we can still express our concern towards them and spread our great love to send our love and care to Taiwan.
The students and teachers of Tzu Chi International School, Kuala Lumpur branch, send their prayers to Taiwan upon hearing about the train accident.
This accident caused a lot of death, and I feel very bad about it. We try to do what we can within our abilities to help another. We pray with sincerity for their recovery.
This outpouring of concern didn't just happen in the classrooms. The office staff are also contributing their prayers online.
I want to let the family members who have lost a loved one know that, despite us being in Malaysia, which is a bit away from Taiwan, we continue to pray for them.
You can see God is still there. I mean, like all the people are still having the kindness inside them, not minding their own business. But what I can feel is everyone is there. Humanity is still there.
This accident has broken all of our hearts, and the teachers and students of Malaysia hope their prayers can help ease the suffering of those affected.
The Tzu Chi Eye Center in the Philippines treats the disadvantaged people suffering from eye diseases, most of whom are cataract patients, and many are diabetic patients with retinopathy. A tricycle driver, Michael, and a female teacher, Wendy, were treated there and hence can return to their work. Suffering diabetes for 9 years has damaged Michael's retina and disrupted his economy.
When he started to lose his vision, we took him to several eye centers for consultations, but eventually we had to stop because we could no longer afford it.
Their friends referred them to Timor for medical treatment. A week after the laser therapy, Michael underwent an antivascular endothelial growth factor injection. After another week, the scar tissue was surgically removed and bleeding was cured.
Thanks to modern surgery techniques and equipment, it becomes more beneficial for retina patients to undergo surgical procedures.
I'm happy to have my eyesight recovered so that I can take care of my family again. It broke my heart to see them suffer because of me.
Michael cares about his wife and children, while teacher Wendy misses her students.
I'm very happy because I'm able to see again. I can go back to school to teach again.
Restoring vision allows the two patients to cherish their health even more and live peacefully with diabetes. Facing the issue of dementia, many people think that such illness is not treatable. Yet, a group of seniors is proving that there are ways to slow down the process of dementia. They go to daycare centers, participate eagerly in courses, and communicate with others instead of staying at home all day. This allows them to regain motor skills and confidence.
Tzu Tzu Chi Concentric Circle Daycare Center in Hualien opened in September of 2019 as Grandma Xiang Xue was an early member joining the center in December.
Because the senior population is high, we collaborated with the government's Long-Term Care 2.0 project. People in the daycare center assist children who have jobs and cannot accompany their parents at home during the day. Therefore, the center became a place to care for seniors while relieving the burden of others. This also avoids danger risks since the senior is not home alone.
The daycare center aims to serve seniors with dementia as it is equipped with professional staff and city volunteers. The course it provides also includes outdoor activities.
There are many daycare centers now. The dementia care point is designated for long-term care. The center focuses on patients with early stages of dementia, providing a location for them to go kind of like a school and further guide them into adapting a normal routine.
We post photos and videos of our activities. The family members can see their parents participating in these activities. Therefore, they know their parents can participate in family gatherings, which will increase the family's emotional bonding.
A joyful time is made possible with love as the daycare center's team uses love to bring happiness for seniors.
My mother-in-law doesn't reject the idea of going to the daycare center. She wants to go there every day, even on the weekends. She doesn't say where she wants to go, but on the weekends she'll say, I want to go there. I tell her that the center is closed on Saturday and Sunday. After they come here, firstly, the family members may gain some rest as they do not have to be on high alert all day. Secondly, we discover that the seniors actually have better motor skills than the family may realize. After care and rehabilitation, the seniors will gain further motor skills and confidence at their home since they are able to do some things on their own. Through this process, family members will discover that the elderly can cook, fold clothes, and handle other things. What comes after is the increase of emotional bonding due to the constant exchange of love and care.
In Hualien Xinchen Township, there is a special bookstore called Etude Bookstore. The owner, Wu Wenwei, is a volunteer baseball coach. He rented a storefront and hosted an after-school study group for the children without family care. Yet, he doesn't have enough funding. So the foundation provided finances to help him out. Let's take a look at how they partner up to safeguard the children.
There were kids that wanted to play baseball, but I didn't know how to coach. I had experience in helping several people to start a team, finding resources. So with that in mind, I simply came to Xincheng to form a baseball team. I brought some of the players I knew with me to teach them. After school is out, the students might not have family at home to take care of them, so they will just wander the streets, or the parents are busy and can't tend to them, sometimes even not coming home on time. This situation is pretty common in Taiwan's remote regions or even the big cities. It's just that as long as I can help, I will do my best to help. My original thought was to bring kids to my house to eat or study, but later on, more and more kids came to my home. So when an empty storefront was available 3 years ago, we rented it out and slowly organized it into a space for the community of residents to read books, and children can do their homework here as well.
Tzu Chi has always seen the importance in children's care. We found out there are public groups or service welfare groups in the eastern region that have established after-school activities or tutoring for students. We will then contact them via telephone or perhaps see their call for fundraising on the internet and further get to know about their needs. Tzu Chi hopes to provide a stable resource for children in remote regions so they may receive a more secure and long-term care after school.
不是，我是说，你这样退步的，爸爸妈妈这样也不会开心啊，对不对？缺钱缺人。
We had no money, no people, no expertise. Why can't many of the remote regions hire tutors? Because tutors have families they need to support. They need to take care of their families after work. Sometimes our students need evening tutoring. This is where Tzu Chi has helped. They provided financial help to hire evening tutors.
When we started talking about working together, we had hoped to provide him a steady meal plan so the children can receive a balanced nutrition for growing up. In the past, he could only provide tutoring twice a week, and due to our partnership, he is providing meals and tutoring now Monday through Friday. This means the students can go there to study and eat a free meal. We're providing financial help for the meal budget and teachers' income. It has really helped the students improve their school grades.
那为什么现在在这边你们没有办法专心念？是因为这边太吵了吗？还是怎样？
我下课会来食堂这边，然后。
After school, I will come here. Then the older brothers and sisters will help us with the home. If my test grades fall to 80%, they will help me bring it back up to the 90s.
除了打球之外，有没有陪你们读书啊？
有，
做功课
有。
怎么陪你们？
他就说书全部拿出来，然后读书嘛，然后他就叫我们写功课，然后不会的要举手问。1个礼拜读1课。
那这样对你有没有成绩有没有帮助？
我之前不好，然后后面越来越好，然后后面就拿到什么周4期奖学金。
If a family doesn't have a good parental role or other family support in taking care of them, sometimes we feel so bad for a child like that. But when they come here, we can rest in comfort knowing they are being taken care of.
我听过一个，就是
I heard a Rinpoche say something that I thought was pretty straight on. He said, when you see suffering and you can't help yourself, but to help them, then you have a compassionate heart. Really, everyone has a compassionate heart, but it's just if you dare to help or not. When you see someone that needs help, it's up to you whether to help them or not. That's about it.
Recently, it rained heavily in southern Malaysia, flooding many houses in the low-lying areas. In Johor, there is a woman whose husband was in Singapore. She felt helpless when her house was flooded and asked Tzu volunteers to help her clean up her house.
The experienced volunteers have brought brooms and water sprayer to help this family clean up after the flood.
This place is flooded for a second time. This place also flooded last year. This area seems to be lower. Her husband is working in Singapore, and she has 2 children who go to school. The house is filled with mud water. Cleaning up the mud water is a very difficult job. Since there is a large number of volunteers, we can do this. We spray with water sprayer, and then some volunteers sweep the water. If we only relied on one person, even if the person uses water sprayer, we cannot solve the problem.
As her house has been flooded twice in a year, the female house owner, who is originally from Guangdong, feels helpless.
看到家里面
Seeing my house being flooded, I could not think of a way to clean up the place. I was feeling helpless, and then I thought of Tzu Chi. You came to help me in the past. I think the volunteers are very good, so I tried calling the number you left me. Then volunteers came at noon and helped me clean up the house. I am very grateful.
The place floods whenever it rains heavily. While it seems like a natural disaster, it is still related to human activities.
The surrounding area has been developed and many trees have been chopped down. As a result, whenever it rains, the water will quickly flow to this area.
With a large number of people, volunteers quickly clean up the house. However, in the future, more people need to protect the environment in order to prevent future flood disasters.
In Fujian, China, 132 Tzu Chi volunteers from Xiamen, Zhangzhou, and Jian'ou have divided into different teams to visit Tzu Chi care recipients, bring love and care to 85 families in need.
我也以为我以前不会回头，没有回头的机会，我也不会改。最大的感染力就是你们了。
Single father Zhu Chungui loved to gamble when he was young. Now he's poor and his youngest son suffers from androgeneplasia. At the beginning of this year, with Tzu Chi's arrangement, he and 2 children have moved into a nursing home. He also has a job now.
Your help has always been in my heart. It is my support. You've persuaded me and talked to me. You never criticize me. You often call me. This is different for me. You treat me like family.
Concerned about his adjustment to the new environment, volunteers call often to provide care. They brought new clothes and financial aid for him. Upon learning that his old phone is broken, volunteers have also brought him a second-hand smartphone. He has filled up the pages as it is his diary. Volunteers encourage him to write down his feelings. His stubborn temper has gradually changed.
As long as you have the correct attitude, this is very good. Keep up the good work, all right? I will come again. I hope by then you will write something different.
As the volunteers wave goodbye, they look forward to the next meeting. Meanwhile, the person holding the yellow lantern is 73-year-old Grandma Chen Meizhu. She suffers from cataracts and one of her eyes is blind. After undergoing treatment for lung cancer, her health conditions have deteriorated. Seeing the volunteers for the first time, she held their hands and kept talking.
You come here to visit me, you value us and accompany me for so long. You talk with us for a long time.
Before parting, volunteers hugged the grandma. She was moved to tears, and so was her daughter.
Thank you. Up until now, my mother has never been so happy. Thank you for coming here and talking with her. You've talked with her for a long time. Every day, my mother and my daughter are at home. I work outside and I seldom return.
The volunteers' love and care have touched the hearts of the care recipients.
Recently, Taiwan's export of pineapples is often affected by scale insects. While these insects are only 0.2 centimeters in size, they love high temperature and dry environments. It is one of the most devastating pests for pineapples, ruining the base of pineapple leaves, buds, fruits, and roots. Follow our report as we learn more.
At 5 o'clock in the morning, tens of thousands of pineapple seedlings awaken to the sun and work hard to blossom and bear fruit through photosynthesis. This large pineapple field located in Guanmiao District, Tainan. This place is relatively hilly terrain. Farmers are used to planting pineapples on the sunny side of the hill. The soil here is acidic and rich in iron, so Guanmiao District produces excellent quality pineapples, which may be considered the best in Taiwan. It takes at least 1.5 years for pineapples to be planted and harvested. Pineapple grower Lin Chou-Mao, who worked in the Taipei more than 20 years ago, went home to plant pineapples, inheriting his family business. Today, he is already a well-known pineapple expert in Guanmiao. Harvesting is difficult labor. By relying upon the earth, these farmers earn a meager living. Lin Chou-Mao used to think he could win by growing top fruit despite difficult climate, but one year he lost everything to pests and disease.
Environmentally friendly cultivation does not use pesticides. In the summer, when it is wet along with high temperature, these scale insects become particularly abundant, especially the mealybug. As a result, the more mature pineapple, which are more aromatic, attract a lot of mealybugs.
The white spots on the ripe pineapple fruit are scaled insects. Once they spread throughout the entire pineapple orchard, then Qiu Miao could lose $3,000.
One thing I insist on is not shipping this fruit. No matter how you wash it deal with heat, you can't even clean it with a spray gun.
Scale insects are plant parasites that can suck juice and induce sooty mold with leaves covered in fungi. The black material that reproduces hinders plant respiration, making the leaves wither and the fruit is stunted in development. If there are only a few insects, one can just use a brush lightly to clean them. They can be removed with a light brush.
It secretes some waxy powders, which we call epidurticular wax. This is a mealybug, and some are harder scale insects. We call them hard scale insects or helmet scale insects. It is like a tortoise with a shell that it hides in. If it is attached inside, this brush is not effective.
The battle between farmers and scale insects has been staged repeatedly, not only pineapples but also fruit trees such as mango, papaya, and custard apples. They are also commonly seen in these orchards. Under the microscope, scale insects are only about 0.2 centimeters in size, and the small uninvited guests have caused a lot of suffering when it comes to the export of Taiwan pineapples.
For foreign exports, when they are in quarantine, inspectors usually pay attention to the small parts of the pineapple, like the cracks that are not visible, because this scale insect has a characteristic that it has a small insect body and likes to hide. It really likes to hide in the stem of the fruit.
Experts said that scale insects only exist on the surface of the pineapple, and after cutting, the fruit is completely unaffected. Even if it is accidentally eaten, it is harmless to the human body. Scale insects love high temperature and dryness, and the government stipulates that they can be controlled with metahadion. However, before the pests appear, there are actually some things that can be done.
In the south during the winter, from November to February and March, when there is no rain, scale insects are prone to infestation. They have a secretion that attracts ants, which help the insects to move. So it will cause you to prevent them from an infestation. You must also pay attention to the ants.
Field management is particularly important to preventing pests. Pineapples are mostly planted with lateral buds or crowns. Before the plant is planted, is also a critical period for preventing pests.
When you want to plant pineapple buds, you must first pay special attention to whether there are scale insects on it. If there are scale insects, you may bring outside scale insects to your field for reproduction.
Strengthening pest and disease management tries to keep pests in the field as far away as possible. I will use pest management as much as possible to control the density of such pests. I don't want to have pests, but it is not easy to deal with it. If you already have pests on pineapples, then when it comes to packaging, it can be even more difficult and slower when it comes to the processing. To use an air compressor to spray away the insects, the efficiency is not fast.
Sweet pineapples inevitably attract scale insects before export. There are several common ways to remove pests. This includes chemical fumigation, temperature control, and physical removal. The spray gun on the air compressor is used to blow away insects, which is a common way of treatment. Not only pineapples are subject to rigid checks, but also other Taiwan agricultural products destined for export. One has to be cautious at every level so as to not be closed off from lucrative international markets.
In Argentina, a campfire broke out in March. Tzu volunteers traveled 2,000 kilometers away to the heavily impacted area to assess disaster damage and host disaster relief. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and see you next time.